Welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast with Noelle Custis, where we ignite the spark to discover your favorite self. It is time to get real, ladies. Hello. Welcome back to the Rise to Shine podcast. I'm your host, Noelle Custis. Today, we're going to be talking about something that keeps so many women stuck, drained, and feeling less than. Any guesses? Well, today we're going to be talking about comparison. Have you ever felt that twinge of jealousy, even though you know you should be happy for someone else's success? Have you ever scrolled on Instagram seeing someone's perfect life and suddenly felt like you weren't doing enough? Have you ever looked at another mom or a business owner or friend and thought, why her? Why not me? Listen, I am raising my hand too because I've been there. I have felt it. I've been frustrated with myself for feeling it, like honestly saying, come on, Noelle, you know better. But here's the truth. Comparison is actually part of the human experience. The problem isn't that we feel it. The problem is what we do with it. So today we're going to be unpacking why we compare, how comparison steals our joy, and even has us operating in a lower vibration. We're not showing up as the glow up gal that we want to be. And we're going to be talking about how to flip the script and use it as fuel instead of what I would say poison. Using it as fuel instead of poison. So this episode is going to hit home, I would imagine, with the majority of you, if not all of you. So let's get into it. First of all, why do we even need to do this? Why do we as women pick up this burden of comparison so easily? It actually starts pretty young. Society conditions us to measure ourselves against others. Our body image, our success, family, lifestyle, and here's going to be the biggie, the shoulds of life. For midlife moms like us, so the majority of this audience are midlife moms, it can hit really hard because this is a season of transition for us. We're not comparing outwardly. We're actually internally questioning things. Did I do enough? Am I successful enough? Have I made the right choices? So it's a little bit different than when we're in our teens or when we're in our 20s. Yes, you're going through transitions at that time, but you're also looking at life with so much more ahead of you that you're just trying to keep up, right? But when you hit a transitional age, when you're 35 plus, we start to look at it from a different lens. And then, of course, there's social media. Oh, friend, this adds so much fuel to the fire. We see all of the reels, and it makes me laugh that they're called reels when the reality is that they're not always. Now, I'm not going to say 100%, but they're not always real life. They're the highlights of our real life. Yet, even though we know that consciously, we still compare our behind the scenes mess to someone else's very carefully curated highlight reel. Go figure. Isn't it just such an interesting concept? But it's so true. I remember a moment, and this wasn't even that long ago, so I'm going to be super vulnerable with you here, when I felt comparison creep in. And again, this is going to be really real. I'm putting myself out there, just admitting my truth, because comparison is something that I know personally. I have felt it in ways that honestly made me feel ashamed. And I'm sharing this because I know someone else that's listening out there has probably felt this too. So here's my story. A while back, I caught myself in this comparison spiral, if you will. I was working so hard, like literally pouring my heart and soul into everything. I was helping women, I was showing up, I was volunteering for all of the things. I was doing everything that I could imagine to, really doing my best. And I was doing all the things that were in alignment with my purpose. I was giving a ton. I was believing in my mission. I was trusting the process. And yet, financially, the numbers weren't showing up the way I thought that they should. Meanwhile, someone really close to me, someone I love and admire, was having explosive financial growth. It seemed like I don't know how else to put it, but it seemed like everything that she touched was turning to gold, literally. And listen, I was genuinely happy for her. I wanted to celebrate her. I mean, when she would share with me her wins, I was the first one to cheer her on. But deep down, there was this part of me that was saying, why not me? What am I missing? Am I doing something wrong? Why isn't this happening for me? And I hated that I was thinking those things. I felt so terrible because I know better and I teach women how to own their glow, how to stay in their lane, how to trust their journey. This is what I teach. This is what I do. But here I was sitting in this very uncomfortable, ugly feeling space. I was comparing, I was questioning, and honestly, I'm not going to lie, I was feeling a little unworthy. And can I just pause here for a moment and can I also share that shame comes along with comparison? Because it's one thing to feel jealous or envious, but when we know that we should be grateful, when we know we should trust our own path, yet comparison creeps in anyway, that becomes a whole nother layer of guilt. Anybody hear me out there? It's this, I always say it's the ugh feeling of, I don't want to feel like this, but I do. And that's what really hit me. The part of me that was second guessing myself. And I just was actually tired. I was tired of waiting. I was tired of feeling like I was doing everything right, but not seeing my own breakthrough. And that is what I actually had to sit with for a while. Because the truth is, comparison isn't just about wanting what someone else has, it's about what we think their success means about us. I'm going to say that again. Comparison isn't just about wanting what someone else has. It's about what we think their success means about us. And that, my friend, that's where we have to flip the script because comparison is a total thief. It's a thief of joy. It's a thief of our energy, a thief of confidence. And when we compare, we step into, this is a biggie, we step into scarcity. Instead of celebrating someone else's win, we feel like there's less for us. If other people around us are winning, that means there's less for us in the pot. That's what starts to happen. It's like believing that success, happiness, or beauty is a pie with this limited number of slices. But that's not how life actually works. Someone else's success does not take away from yours. Someone else's success or their glow does not dim yours. There's actually room for everybody at the table. There's room for all of us at the table. But when we're in this comparison trap, we forget that. And instead of celebrating another woman, we shrink, we start to doubt, we start to tell ourselves we're not enough. Again, anyone resonating with this? Because I get it. Sometimes when I'm talking about it, just right now, talking about it, it brings it up because sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it. And that's why it's so important that we actively flip the script. We have to do this on purpose and we have to be, conscientious of this. So we're going to get practical because recognizing the problem is great. We definitely need to recognize when we're doing it, but we need to also have solutions. So when you're in the midst of this, what do we do with that? What can we do when that comparison starts to sneak in? So, number one, awareness is going to be key. That's key. The first step is noticing it. When you feel comparison creeping in, just take a pause. And when I say when you're feeling it, it means like, do you have that ugh feeling? Do you have that icky feeling in your tummy? Like you've got like butterflies, or you feel maybe a little anxious. Maybe you feel that initial, like, I have to say I'm happy for you, but I'm sad. Like I'm feeling frustrated. Sometimes we feel frustrated and even maybe resentful. So ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling and why? And this is where I want you to get curious. Why is this triggering me? What story am I telling myself right now? What story is that? When I started the Glow Up School, I had moments of comparison for sure, wondering if I was doing enough or if others were further ahead. I was looking at other people's memberships and thinking about, what are they doing? What do I need to be doing? How do I keep up with all of this? How do I make mine even better? But when I paused, I realized that the comparison wasn't about them. It was really about me, about my own doubts, about my own insecurities. That's what I had to, again, that's what I had to sit with. It wasn't about them. It wasn't towards them. It was about me and that reflection in the mirror. So, number two, I want you to flip envy into inspiration. This is what changes everything. Instead of thinking, why her? Try asking, what is this showing me about what I want? What is it that I desire? What is it that I value? What are my hopes and dreams? So if seeing someone's successes sting, maybe it's because your soul is craving expansion. So instead of letting it hold you down, think about it as letting it light you up. So here's an example. Instead of feeling envious of someone's career move, so let's say someone is switching out their job, they're making a huge pivot, and you're looking from the sideline going, man, I wish that was me. I wish I could do that. I'm kind of feeling envious of her. I'm kind of feeling like a little mad at her for doing that. I'm feeling I'm feeling a little frustrated. Maybe I'm feeling a little sad. Get curious. What is it that you're feeling? And ask yourself, how can I learn from her? What's my next step? Maybe it doesn't mean that you want to jump out of your career, but maybe it's you want to show up differently in what it is you're doing. Maybe it's not even about making the pivot, but it's about, gosh, she's stepping into something and she's so happy and she's so proud about it. I still love what I do, but I'm not living that day to day. So, what can I do now to shift that for myself? That's how we start to make change. And that's how we start to flip the script, is when we get curious. Number three, celebrate other women. And I don't mean just celebrate them like a little, like, oh, congratulations. I'm talking about celebrating them loudly. If you see another woman winning, tell her. If you see a friend hitting a milestone, cheer for her. If someone, trust me on this, if someone intimidates you, if their energy intimidates you, get closer to it. Because here's the thing, when you celebrate others, you actually attract the same energy back. So when you're putting it out there for someone, you're attracting that same energy back. So get loud, compliment them. Don't sit and gossip behind their back. Don't sit and, feel like you're going to maybe, not talk to them as much because you're in that jealousy space and you're in that comparison trap. Tell them you're killing it. Oh my gosh. If someone is losing a few pounds and they look great and they're maybe wearing something, because I notice this happening a lot with women, they start to change the way they dress, and then other women start to get gossipy. Oh my gosh, do you see what she's wearing now? Oh my gosh. Is that really because we're judging someone, or is that because we're jealous that we can't be wearing that? Is it because it's a reflection of us and what we're feeling? That's what I'm saying. Get curious. And instead of gossiping behind her back, because that's the energy that's going to come back to you, tell her how great she looks. Because that is the energy we want to attract back to us. And then, of course, number four, focus on your own lane. Your journey is yours. Your timing is perfect. Your glow up isn't meant to look like anyone else's. You are not supposed to be like her. Your journey is not meant for her too. Like, her journey and your journey are different, and they're different for a reason. Embrace that. Embrace that for yourself, because then your journey becomes more unique and you get to stay in your lane and you get to have your story. You get to have your successes. This is what I love to focus on, because it is such a big deal. It's what we face as women all the time. And sometimes it's so sneaky that it just happens in the blink of an eye. It just happens quickly. It's just a quick thought that happens, and then we just move on with life. But when we don't know how to break that pattern and we find ourselves in it more frequently, more often, that's when it can wear us down a little bit. And then our energy and the way we show up changes. So I was inspired to talk about this today because in the Glow Up School this month, we are talking all about confidence. And this has been brought up. Confidence is such a big thing for women. And the Glow Up School is all about midlife women, midlife moms. And when I say midlife, I say about 35 and up. Okay. And I don't want you freaking out that, oh my gosh, that means, what do you mean we're in midlife at 35? That's still so young. Yes, that is still so young for sure. But it's when we start to look at life from a different lens than we do in our teens and our 20s and our early 30s. This is when we start to feel a transformation. And that's why we talk about midlife being about 35 plus. I don't want to freak anybody out. But this is what we're focusing on in the Glow Up School. We have glow guides that help shift our mindset from comparison to confidence. We have spark snippets. So these are like these mini pep talks to keep us centered and grounded. We have a community that celebrates each other instead of competing against each other. So these are the types of things that are happening. And that is why this was really brought to my attention because, man, it has become a hot topic. I can't tell you how much I've been getting behind the scenes. So if you're struggling with comparison, just know that you don't have to do this alone. If you're curious about the Glow Up School, to help you step into your light and, to really be in a space where you don't feel like you're shrinking, check it out. Because it really, this is what we do. We go even deeper into this. We do a lot of work around confidence and comparison. So that's just what I wanted to share about. I do more than just a podcast. I love podcasting. I love sharing. I love bringing guests on, but I also love what I do on a daily basis and working with women to get in a place where we can be overcomers. So, anyways, if this episode resonated, here's what I would love, love, love for you to do. I would love for you, and I would be so appreciative if you took a screenshot of this episode and share it on Instagram. You can tag me at joyful_Noelle and let me know one way that you're flipping the script on comparison or where you're at with that, or if you have questions about it. And then, of course, if you are like, okay, I need some work in this area. This is something that I'm really struggling with, or this is something I'm curious about. Join us in the Glow Up School. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Every month we have a new topic, but we continue to build on each topic. So it's not like, oh, we talk about comparison and confidence and then we never talk about that again. No, we're continually growing. So the Glow Up School is open. Would love to have you there. The notes will all be in the show notes to where you will know where to find them, where to check it out. And I cannot wait to connect with you because I really believe that there's a ripple effect that happens when we as women step into our power, when we step into our glow. We then show other women how to do that, not even by telling them how to do it, but just showing up in that energy, showing up in that true authenticity. That is when we start to make a difference, and it's a ripple effect. Because, man, I would love to see more women really, really standing up for other women. And I'm not talking about in a superficial way. I'm talking about having people in your corner that support what you do and not only support you, but cheer you on through the process. That is my hope. So, you guys, I just want to say I am so grateful to be here. I love what I get to do here and can't wait to see you next Tuesday. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and know that today is right here waiting for you. So make it your best day yet. All right. Bye, friends. See you next Tuesday. Thanks for joining me here today. Your presence means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider leaving a rating and review, and don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Head to the show notes and let's connect. Rise to Shine Co. is ready to support you in coaching, collaboration, life tips, or even a coffee chat. Until next time, keep shining, my friends.